Hey guys, this is Korean Danny. Today, we're diving into a topic that really matters for students and families, the cost of living in Seoul versus Cebu. If you've ever wondered why so many families choose Cebu for study abroad or long-term living, the answer often comes down to money and lifestyle. Seoul is famous for being one of the most expensive cities in Asia. From rent to food to education, costs add up fast. But in Cebu, the picture is very different. Life is more affordable, and families can enjoy more balance without breaking the bank. In this video, let's break it down. Housing, food, education, and overall lifestyle. By the end, you might be surprised at how much further your money can go in Cebu compared to Seoul. When we talk about the cost of living, the biggest factor for both students and families is housing. And here, the gap between Seoul and Cebu is huge. Let's start with Seoul. Renting an apartment or even a small studio in Seoul can feel overwhelming. In the city center, a tiny one-room studio just enough for a single student can cost hundreds of dollars each month, sometimes over 1,000, depending on the neighborhood. On top of that, Korea has a unique system called jeonse, where tenants pay a massive lump sum deposit, tens of thousands of dollars, just to secure a lease. Families looking for a decent 2- or 3-bedroom apartment face prices that are some of the highest in Asia, rivaling cities like Tokyo or Hong Kong. And because of rising real estate costs, young people in Seoul often live with parents longer or struggle to save enough to move out. Now let's look at Cebu. The housing market here feels completely different. A modern condo in a central location close to schools, malls, and offices can be rented for a fraction of the price in Seoul. Even fully furnished units with a pool or gym in the building are surprisingly affordable. For families, a spacious 2- or 3-bedroom condo in Cebu might cost the same as a tiny studio in Seoul. Students can find boarding houses, dormitories, shared apartments that are budget-friendly and close to their universities. The barrier to entry is much lower, no massive deposits, just a reasonable monthly rent. The lifestyle difference this creates is enormous. In Seoul, housing costs eat up a large portion of income, leaving families with constant financial pressure. Parents often work long hours just to cover rent and education. In Cebu, lower rent means families can redirect money toward experiences, weekend trips, better food, or extracurricular activities for kids. For students, affordable housing means more independence and freedom, without the crushing debt or pressure of Seoul. Here's the point: Seoul offers modern convenience but at a very high cost, while Cebu offers affordability and space for families to actually live, not just survive. For the same amount you spend on a small apartment in Seoul, you could rent a full condo with amenities in Cebu. That's why so many families and students see Cebu not only as a place for education, but also as a city where quality of life is simply more achievable. When families and students compare the cost of living between Seoul and Cebu, one of the biggest differences shows up in food and daily expenses. Let's start with Seoul. Eating out in Seoul is convenient, but it can be surprisingly expensive. A simple lunch menu at a casual restaurant can easily cost $8 to $10, and if you add coffee or dessert, the bill climbs even higher. Popular Korean BBQ dinners, fried chicken, and late-night meals with friends can quickly add up, making dining out a financial burden for students and families on a budget. Yes, there's incredible variety. Seoul is a paradise for food lovers, but the reality is that eating out regularly is not cheap. Even grocery shopping feels expensive, with imported fruits, meat, and dairy costing more than many expect. Families in Seoul often spend a significant portion of their monthly income just on food and basics. Now compare this with Cebu. Here, daily meals are much more affordable. Local eateries, called carinderias, serve full plates of rice, meat, and vegetables for just a couple of dollars or less. Fresh seafood and tropical fruits like mangoes are abundant and far cheaper than in Korea. A student in Cebu can eat 3 meals a day on the same budget that might only cover 1 meal in Seoul. Families also find groceries less stressful to buy fish, Chicken, vegetables, and fruits are reasonably priced, and local markets offer fresh ingredients at a fraction of Seoul's cost. The difference in coffee culture also tells the story. In Seoul, cafe culture is everywhere, but a single latte can cost the same as an entire carinderia meal in Cebu. Families and students in Cebu can enjoy food without constantly worrying about overspending, while in Seoul, dining and shopping require careful budgeting. Daily expenses beyond food also show the contrast. In Seoul, transportation passes, utility bills, and even simple leisure activities add up quickly. In Cebu, jeepney fares, electricity, and recreation options remain more affordable, making it easier for families to balance budgets. Here's the point: Seoul offers variety and convenience, but it comes with high costs. Cebu offers affordability and freshness, making daily life less stressful and more enjoyable. For students, this means more independence without constant financial pressure. For families, it means more savings and more quality time together. So when you look at food and daily expenses, the choice becomes clear. In Seoul, your money buys efficiency, but in Cebu, your money buys comfort and peace of mind. When families compare Seoul and Cebu, one of the most important factors is education costs. This is often the deciding reason why many Korean families choose Cebu as their base for study abroad. Let's begin with Seoul. Education here is world-class, but it comes with a heavy price tag. Parents spend thousands of dollars every year on private academies, called hagwons, where students study late into the night. On top of that, university tuition in Korea is among the highest in Asia, often reaching $10,000 or more per year, especially at private institutions. Even before college, parents feel pressure to invest heavily in after-school programs, language training, and extracurriculars. For families, education becomes not just an expense, but a financial burden that shapes the entire household budget. Many parents in Seoul work long hours or take on extra jobs just to afford their children's schooling. Now look at Cebu. The picture is much lighter. International schools and language academies in Cebu provide English education at a fraction of the cost in Seoul. For the price of one semester at a private university in Korea, students in Cebu can complete a full year of English training and still have money left for living expenses. Boarding schools and dormitories are also affordable, making it possible for students to live independently without overwhelming their families financially. University tuition in the Philippines is far lower than in Korea, and scholarships or installment payment options make it even more manageable. Another key point is value for money. In Cebu, families not only save on tuition, but also benefit from the lower cost of housing and food. This means parents can support their child's education while maintaining a more balanced lifestyle. Many Korean families actually relocate to Cebu, so their children can study English in a more immersive, less pressured environment, all while enjoying a lower cost of living. Of course, Seoul offers prestige and access to some of the most competitive universities in Asia, but the pressure is immense. Students face long study hours, tough competition, and high financial costs. Cebu, on the other hand, offers affordability, cultural exposure, and a supportive community where students can grow more independently. So here's the point. Seoul's education is top tier but financially draining, while Cebu offers quality learning at a much lower cost, making it a realistic choice for many families. For parents and students, the difference isn't just about tuition, it's about the kind of lifestyle that comes with it. Seoul offers status, but Cebu offers balance. When you compare Seoul and Cebu, one of the most important questions families ask is, what kind of life can we actually live here? Beyond rent, food, and education. The real issue is quality of life. In Seoul, life is fast, busy, and often exhausting. Parents leave early in the morning, come home late at night, and spend weekends catching up on errands or extra work. Children's schedules are just as packed: school in the morning, hagwons at night, sometimes finishing at 10 or 11 p.m. The city offers convenience and opportunity, but at the cost of family time. Even meals are rushed, often eaten in front of a TV or quickly grabbed between schedules. Many families feel like they are always running but never really resting. For students, the pressure is constant for parents. The financial stress never stops. Now let's look at Cebu. The pace is slower, but that's exactly what makes it appealing for families. Parents don't need to work endless overtime just to pay rent or tuition. That means they have more time to spend with their children eating meals together, going out on weekends, or simply relaxing at home. The tropical environment adds to the lifestyle. Beaches and resorts are close by, so a family getaway doesn't require expensive travel. Even daily routines feel lighter. Children finish school earlier, and evenings can be spent on hobbies, sports, family bonding. Another key difference is stress level. In Seoul, family life is often dominated by competition, better grades, better jobs, better apartments. In Cebu, the focus is more on relationships and shared experiences. Families place value on togetherness, not just achievement. It doesn't mean life is perfect or without challenges, but the culture emphasizes warmth and connection, giving families a sense of balance. For example, a middle-class family in Seoul might live in a small apartment, eat out occasionally, and spend most of their budget on education. In Cebu, the same budget could provide a spacious condo, regular family meals at restaurants, and weekend trips to the beach, all while still covering school fees. The trade-off is clear. Seoul offers prestige and structure, but Cebu offers comfort and quality time. So here's the point: Seoul families often survive, while Cebu families have space to truly live. It's not just about the cost of living, it's about the value of life itself. For students, Cebu offers a less pressured environment. For parents, it means freedom from constant financial stress. And for families as a whole, it means more time together, which is something money can't buy. We've compared Seoul and Cebu across housing, food, education, and family lifestyle. So what's the bottom line? In Seoul, you get efficiency, modern convenience, and prestige. The transportation system is fast, the city offers endless opportunities, and education is competitive on a global scale. But the price is high not just in money, but in time and stress. Families work harder, students study longer, and the cost of living constantly weighs on everyone's shoulders. Life in Seoul can be exciting, but it often feels like a race you can never finish. In Cebu, the picture is different. Housing is more affordable, food is fresh and accessible, and education, especially English learning, is far less expensive. Families have more time together, and students enjoy a less pressured environment. The lifestyle is slower, but it allows people to breathe, to connect, and to truly live. For many families, Cebu isn't just cheaper, it's more human. So which is better? That depends on what you value most. If you want speed, structure, and global competition, Seoul is the place. If you want balance, affordability, and stronger family bonds, Cebu is the better choice. Neither is right or wrong, they simply reflect two different ways of building a life. And maybe that's the real lesson Seoul shows us how to achieve. Cebu shows us how to live. For students and families, the decision isn't just about money, it's about the kind of future you want to create. So let me ask you, which lifestyle do you prefer? Would you choose the fast-paced, high-cost life of Seoul, or the affordable, family-friendly lifestyle of Cebu? Comment below and share your thoughts. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. This is Korean Danny, and I'll see you in the next video.